And it's cold. And that goldfish is not gold. Quick tomato update. This tomato's getting ripe. It's been on 11-hour cycles. Now we're switching it back to 12 because this one's ripe. These ones here, they're still pretty small. They're like smaller than a ping pong ball size. But there you go. That's going to be the first seeds harvested from that generation. Generation 0. Checking out the snow situation. That's what you call snowy. Ha! Eastern PA. See the pin in the ground. It's about within 10 miles of my location. Let's check the thermometer. What do we got? 29 degrees. Next, check out these cold temperatures. There's the 29th. Let's go to the 31st. Check out the frigid temperatures. Eastern PA, -5. Western PA, -7. Northern Illinois, 23 below zero. Southern Wisconsin, 27 below zero. Visible satellite for the Northeast. What you've got is dry air, super cold dry air in this case, coming down this way. More dry air off in the ocean. And these snowstorms and rainstorms are staying in place until that's able to dissipate. After that, all of this low jet stream, instead of being over here, ends up over here. And, well, really, it ends up way down here. So we've got this record-breakingly cold air coming out of Canada, and the jet stream is dipping lower and lower. Do you use social media besides YouTube? Do you have a Minds.com page? Check out minds.com/smashomash. If you don't, you'll get some content that you can't see on YouTube or on Facebook or on Instagram, for reasons such as Minds will not censor you, and Minds will publish a GIF animation correctly. So this profile's got, I think, about 413,000 views. Less subscribers than YouTube, even though it's an older page. Here's one of our latest posts. Little The Sun animation for you. Whole bunch of wavelengths there. Minds.com/smashomash. See what's going on spaceweathernews.com. Got another C-class X-ray flare, a little small C-class X-ray flare, as well as a long-duration B-class X-ray flare there. And indeed, ongoing B-class X-ray emissions. We got a question on the comments, what that's going to do, and that's going to give you a very small increase in your X-ray exposure. I mean, if you're going on a circumpolar flight, it might be equivalent to 1.2 CAT scans instead of 1 CAT scan like you'd normally get. so it's not going to do anything to you. Looking at the ACE and the Discover, you do see some pretty big fluctuations in the BTBZ there. Looks like the total energy is dropping down, as you can see on the white line here. We're getting some serious negative BZ angle stuff going on. And it looks like the coronal hole magnetic connection is subsiding, at least for the moment. You can see a correlation right here in the phi angle. And we did have a drop off in the density, and it looks like it's popped back up. I think the ACE is sending back some anomalous signals here. That doesn't look right. Solar wind speed still dropping down. And there's an increase in the magnetometer. Looks like a normal post-midnight increase, by the way, for those of you who aren't aware. The M stands for midnight satellite time, and the N stands for noon satellite time. Because there's two different satellites measuring that. KP has gone back to 1, reducing the cosmic ray flux alert a little bit, and an extremely anomalous down spike in the electron flux. That looks like an instrument failure to me. No charging hazards. And the F2 layer is looking pretty normal, if not on the discharge side. At least fairly not too anomalous, really. New viewers, etc. If you haven't checked out our YouTube homepage, check that out. We've got a bunch of officially endorsed channels. Shout out to Sky Scholar, Dr. Pierre-Marie Robitaille, author of the liquid metallic hydrogen model of the sun. Please subscribe, give a like, check out the videos. You might learn something about the nature of condensed matter, all stars, and how physics is about to be rewritten. We would like to see a unified theory reached for the betterment of all mankind and for the understanding of the universe as a whole. Things like what the sun's made of are rather important, shall we say. Here's Robitaille talking for a quick moment about how we need to abandon the gaseous model of the sun.
Some ideas from the 1800s stand the test of time. This one does not. Today, I present a solar model based on the condensed matter and account for the true solar surface while focusing on the solar spectrum. Scientists have long recognized that the solar spectrum has a black body appearance. The standard solar model jumps to invoke opacity mechanism dependent on the free electrons and ions, including negative hydrogen ion, to produce the solar spectrum.
In other words, in order for the sun to have the spectrum that it has, it needs to have a real surface, and not be made out of gas, because a gas could not create the solar spectrum that we see simply by pointing a telescope into the sky. Next, let's look at suspicious observers, aka Ben Davidson. Another understander of what really comprises our universe. And it is not dark matter. Here's one of Mr. Davidson's playlists. Starting with energy from space, the shift has begun.
Electrons and trapped protons and trapped electrons and in the inner zones. And in particular, we're worried about the solar storm protons, the solar flare protons, and the galactic rays. We're existing in this all the time.
I apologize. That was just the intro. This is actually Ben right here. Here's a clip from Energy from Space.
Thus far, our weather look in the magnetic reversal has been a long-term one, a climate-forcing expectation based on the currently published literature, and taking it a bit further with the grand solar minimum coming, the recognition of cosmic rays and solar activity as having a modulating effect on lightning and other short-term weather phenomena goes back well before those seismic, volcanic, and long-term weather connections to space.
Anyway, check out the channel also. He definitely doesn't need our endorsement as he has over 300,000 subscribers. If you're not familiar with a lot of the stuff that's showed there, please feel free. Next, we've got Adapt 2030, hosted by David Devine.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is an emergency message. If you are anywhere in the northeast border with Canada, these warnings are real, and it's the coldest temperatures that you have experienced in your entire lifetime. In-depth analysis in this video of where this storm is going to track, how cold it's going to get. These wind chills are ridiculous at 70 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. And looking at the actual ground temperatures, they're looking at minus 40 degrees to minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
David actually is going to be featured soon on our channel. We're going to be doing an interview with him for our 900th or perhaps our 1000th subscriber special. Next, we've got David Lapointe, the author of the Primer Fields. If you're not familiar with the Primer Fields are, man oh man. You want to go down a rabbit hole. This is a rabbit hole, theory of everything level type stuff. And perhaps install a seatbelt before viewing these videos. However, please install that seatbelt and then view them. It's not just all crazy music. There's some serious plasma stuff going on.
This same principle applies to magnetic balls placed within the orbital equator area perpendicular to the large balls. In this demonstration, a singular magnetic ball is held in place by the magnetic poles, and then a second magnetic ball is added.
Next, let's look at Tony Heller, one of our favorite engineers. Speaking of we've got Obama.
If there's one thing I know about New Hampshire, it's that your political bull detector is pretty keen. It's pretty sharp. You know that we can't just drill our way to lower gas prices.
All right, well, I stand corrected. He only said once. That's an exemplary performance, Mr. Obama. Anyway, let's go back to his most recent video, just 10 hours old. Coldest day on record.
Hello, this is Tony Heller from Real Climate Science.
Let's put it toward the end of the video.
The functioning of civilization depends on having... But climate alarmists are very angry at it. They have all kinds of great theories to explain that cold is caused by warmth. It's obvious to them that record cold is caused by warm, melting Arctic air. And of course, their proposed solution to all this record cold is to cut off the fossil fuel supply. Without fossil fuels, tens of millions of people would die in the Midwest tomorrow. Climate alarmists like Mark are not only incredibly arrogant and ignorant, but they're also extremely dangerous to civil society. The functioning of civilization depends on having a cheap, reliable source of energy.
Anyway, there's Tony Heller. He is putting data sets together in ways that will blow your mind. Now watch the videos. Next, we've got the ever-popular Thunderbolts project. Proponents of the electric universe theory of everything, helping to cause astrophysics to be rewritten in various ways. Let's check out a clip.
That prevented space scientists from seeing the electric force at work in the discharge activity of comets. And yet, as telescopes have expanded our view to thousands of exoplanetary systems, or planets outside the solar system, nothing we have found is consistent with today's popular theory of cometary origins. The traditional nebular hypothesis suggests that comets were born billions of years ago in an imagined diffuse cloud of gas and dust, the very cloud from which stars are claimed to have been born. It was from that ideological foundation, the nebular hypothesis, that not only comet science, but all of the planetary sciences emerged over the past century.
Hopefully that was a good teaser for all of you who haven't watched the Thunderbolts project videos. Lots of cutting edge stuff going on over there. Please watch. Next we've got the Starman. A guy who really knows what he's talking about, especially when it comes to things like gardening, the heliospheric current sheet, solar polar fields. Let's take a look at some solar polar field stuff, yeah? All right, here we go. Jumping right in there, just to tease your brain, talking about solar flux units.
But if we look at the progression here, ladies and gentlemen, from 1965, from March, actually 1965, and we progressed it through, excuse me, to indeed the late 1998, we can see from this point that the solar wind and solar storms have quite significantly took a did. This is in line.
We don't just excuse you, we officially endorse you. Next, we've got the Electric View, hosted by Eugene Bagashov, talking about things on the local galactic level. How about the evidence the solar system exists within a galactic current? That's right. If electromagnetic fields control the Earth's movement, they probably control the sun's also. Here's Mr. Bagashov's guest, Jim Veninger.
So you don't need a lot of light bending even to really throw that off. And again, you would think the mainstream would be looking for that, but they know that there's not enough gravity in that area to do that. Like with the sun, we only see light bending right near the solar surface.
Essentially what he's talking about is that gravitational lensing isn't gravitational, and that the bending of light is caused by magnetized plasma, electromagnetic fields, and not by gravity itself. Next, we've got Maverick Star Reloaded, doing some important science here, creating another data point for the Earth's magnetic field, which is shifting in crazy ways. Here he's talking about the polar excursion, how we've got really two North Poles going on at the same time. Take it away, Maverick Star Observatory.
As it does that, how long is it going to take for it to do that? I think we're going to start seeing action in the next perhaps 7 years. I don't think it's going to be that long, but I'm just saying that because of how fast, the Canadian pole has started to deteriorate.
Hope that got your ears open. Check it out. Installing magnetometers in the path of where the magnetic poles appear to be moving to. Super important work, and the more redundancy we get on that kind of stuff, the better. Please subscribe and watch the videos. Next, how about a little Ice Age farmer, Christian Westbrook, exposing stuff that may not have otherwise been seen. Here he's talking about food policing. Take it away.
As part of this coordinated attack on our food supply. And I don't feel like I'm doing a very good job today of piecing it together, but I hope that you can help me and do that. In doing so, the FDA is finally concerned about terrorist attacks on our food supply. So all the pieces are here to make it very difficult for independent farmers, ranchers, growers, producers to get their products to market.
Now, regarding that, he, along with Diamond at Oppenheimer Ranch Project and David Dubine at Adapt 2030, are people who've inspired me to become a less crappy gardener. Because I don't know what I had, a dark brown thumb. I didn't have a green thumb. So I'm trying to get some skills. That's part of the reason why I'm growing tomatoes inside. It was just a plant of opportunity. And Ice Age Farmer, Adapt 2030, and Oppenheimer Ranch Project are all partially to blame for me creating seeds that will be proper seeds for the environment. And last but not least, I noticed the phone rang earlier, and it was Diamond calling to tell me that it was boom o'clock. There you go. That one's for you, Diamond. Subscribe to Oppenheimer Ranch Project also. Oppenheimer Ranch Project doing daily Grand Solar Minimum updates and various other rants about various other super interesting topics. Doing science before your very eyes. And here he is, I think, talking about the horrors of global warming.
Permafrost is warming at a global scale. It's happening. It's happening with a video. Rapid changes in the long frozen soil are raising concerns about what's happening. Well, I'll tell you what's happening. There's a lag of temperature response to solar input, as well as in oceanic systems and land masses.
Which is fantastic. I'm totally glad that he said that, because what a great way to wrap up the video than to state that the coldest temperatures on our planet do not come at the solar minimum. The solar minimum is a signal that the coldest temperatures are on their way, because it takes years for the ocean to heat up and cool down as a result of solar input. The people who know what we're talking about are trying to tell you, because the coldest temperatures don't come at the time of solar minimum. The coldest temperatures come 2 to 3 years later, when the sun is ramping back up, which happens to be at the same time that massive solar flares tend to happen, not to mention catastrophic volcanoes and earthquakes. Now, one last thing, let's just look at cosmic ray flux one more time. There's 1 month at Athens. There's 1 month at Mexico City. 1 month at Moscow. Assorted data at Oulu, Finland. DOMC Antarctica. And DOMB Antarctica. Now, one last point. When having some clue what the hell you're talking about, don't drink. Even though the people who don't know what the hell they're talking about will inspire you to. And when you're inspired to know what the hell you're talking about, don't drive. Because statistically, it just kind of sucks. Man, we got some brand new activity coming out of Sunspot 2733. Check it out. Check out the end of the video here. Just saw that now. That's right, it was unplanned. Looks like it's migrating toward the equator a little bit too. Check it out. Could be some ejecta. We'll be looking at it tomorrow. Cheers.